Are you thinking about upgrading your Fiesta ST to a stage 2 or even a stage 3? Now before you invest a load of money, let's actually talk about what they mean. Now these are common cars, Fiesta STs, especially the Mark 7s. You see them everywhere, and almost every time you see them, they're almost always modified. Out of the box, they're amazing cars, but also there's so much aftermarket parts and there's so much support and there's so many things that you can do to actually improve all aspects of these cars. So in this video, we're going to be talking about obviously the Fiesta ST, Stage 2 and Stage 3 specifically. Now my car is a daily driver, it's also a Stage 2. And I've also got experience driving at Stage 3, and also my car previously was a Stage 1. So I have experience across all the different stages, so I sort of have a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. So, is all the extra power that you get in these different stages actually worth it, or is it just a waste of money? Let's talk the basics. So Stage 1, what you get for Stage 1 is typically around the 210, 220 brake horsepower. I think mine was like 215 with the Mountune. That's what I had for mine, that Mountune MP215 kit. Stage 2 typically is around 230 to 250 horsepower, depending on, of course, who you go with to get it mapped. And then Stage 3 is typically around 280 to 330 brake horsepower. Some claim to have more horsepower than that, but yeah, typically around that marker. Of course, each stage requires a different amount of hardware, and the more hardware you have, obviously you're spending more money. So Stage 1, all you really need is a map, maybe an induction kit, and that's it. Stage 2, you need a bit more things. Stage 3, of course, you need a lot more things. And like I said, more things, more money, and it adds up. Now, as mentioned before, my car is a Stage 2. I had it mapped by Collins Performance, took it there, had the CP2E map put onto it, which requires a little bit more hardware. It's basically just a turbo actuator that they make. Allows the turbo to hold boost a bit more, and obviously gives you a little bit extra power. So my car is around the 240 brake horsepower mark. It feels really nice to drive. And I'm just going to say straight up, I feel like this setup and the Stage 2 is the ultimate package that you should go for. For a daily driver, in my opinion, it's perfect. You still got the standard turbo. It's kind of like an OEM plus, but make that plus a big plus. But yeah, I think it is just the best bang for your buck. You're not spending a huge amount of money, but you're getting, well, a different car to standard. It does feel different, but it doesn't transform it into a completely different car. You still have that nippiness, the sort of zippiness feel of, you know, a little Fiesta ST, but you've got that extra power, so it feels like a little bit of a rocket when you're going down them back lanes, and also even through the city. It really does, you know, spool up quickly with that standard small little turbo, but it has that punch now. It really does bring a smile to your face. You know, it's got that performance now with the Stage 2. It has, like I said before, around 240 horsepower, and you feel it. You know, the turbo boosts, it kicks in really quickly. Still got the great handling of the Fiesta, and you don't need to spend too much money. Another little bonus is you don't lose any MPG, which is always good for a daily driver, and that's why I feel like it's perfect for, you know, a daily driver, Stage 2 Fiesta ST. So let's talk about the hardware. So the hardware for Stage 2, there's a few bits of that you need. Starting off with the exhaust. I think you can see it from that camera angle just down there. I have the Miltech exhaust system, the catback system. That's what you need, a catback exhaust system to allow the gases pass through, so it's not restricted as much with a standard exhaust. Going over to the front, you also need an intercooler and an induction kit. And I think that is it for Stage 2. Obviously, like I mentioned before, I have the turbo actuator, the Collins Performance one, because that's what was needed for this map. And yeah, I think that's it. In total, I spent around £1,500, maybe £1,600 to buy all the parts and have them fitted. So yeah, it's not a massive amount of money for how much it changes the car, but also it's a good chunk of cash. Now, if you compare that to Stage 3, well, it's a lot more money. You need all the hardware for Stage 2, plus a bigger turbo, a hybrid turbo. They aren't cheap. And if you're not doing it yourself, you're gonna have to pay for labor. Yeah, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of money, so you better have that cash saved up and ready to spend. So with stage 3, because you have that bigger turbo, of course, you lose that zippiness feeling, the quick spooling of the smaller standard turbo. However, when you do hit boost, oh, you'll feel it. Yeah, it pulls all right. So of course you got the bigger turbo, stage 3. You have more power, like 300 plus horsepower. It turns the car from a little rocket into like a giant killer. You're chasing down them German cars, and you have that power now at the top end, the high surge power, and it's really addictive. Now, to feel the true sort of capacity of the bigger turbo, you're going to be going at higher speeds. Now in the UK, you're probably going to find yourself speeding quite a lot, and well, for a daily car, it's not really ideal in my opinion. The sun is blinding me a little bit, but let's talk about the hidden costs of stage 3. Now these are things that people often overlook or don't really think about when they're first thinking about going to stage 3. Brakes. You're going to want bigger brakes. Now, obviously, when you go in stage 3, you're going to be going higher speeds, more power. You're going to want a bit more stopping force, a bit more power in the brakes. So, probably would recommend to get some bigger brakes, or you're going to be going through brakes, brake pads, brake discs pretty quickly. And the same goes for tyres. You'll be going through tyres quite quickly. Obviously, it all depends on your driving style. If you're going stage 3, I'm assuming you're going to want to use your car, have a bit of fun in it. You're going to be going through brakes and tyres quite quickly. Of course, tyres, don't get budget tyres. Never recommend to get budget tyres, especially for a performance car. But it's essential you get a good set of tyres if you're going stage 3. And another thing to mention with stage 3 is torque steer. Obviously, the Mark 7 Fiesta doesn't have an LSD, so you might want to invest in one of them. But again, that's more money that's adding up. So yeah, torque steer, you're going to get a lot of wheel spin, especially at stage 3, that extra power. And obviously, like I mentioned before, if you're getting wheel spin, you're going to be burning through some rubber. But that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts. We've gone over the different stages, so hopefully you understand now. Let me know what you guys are going to be doing. I've given my opinion of what I feel is the best. Let's have a conversation down in the comments below. And yeah, let's get talking. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.